Let's have a quick conversation about business credit cards. Into this conversation, I want to go to business credit cards one-on-one. I want to explain to you everything you need to know about business credit cards, whether you have an established business, a new business, or somewhere in between. So here's an overview I want you to pay attention to. The first thing you need to really pay attention to here is that when we talk about business credit cards, we have all kinds of business credit cards, okay? So a business credit card is typically tailored for anyone who owns the business. This is really important. So if you have a sole proprietorship, you do not have a business. You need to have a legit business, and large company owners and operators, sole proprietors, and anyone in between can be eligible for a business card. The only thing is that you got to have a business, you got to have a legit business, because you will need to actually justify some of the expenses you are charging on the card. And business credit cards are generally meant to be used for business expenses like purchasing supplies, office furniture, or travel. New businesses should be careful about using credit cards to spend money not really yet earned in the bank. In other words, if you haven't actually generated revenue yet, do not spend money you really don't have. And having a business credit card is also useful for building business credit. In other words, you can take care of you can really help your paydebt score go up, your Dun & Bradstreet paydebt score go up, or your Equifax business credit score, or your Experian. This is really important to understand. Now, when I talk about business credit cards actually can actually be compatible with corporations, LLCs, so limited liability companies, large business owners, small business owners, freelancers, and sole proprietors. So even if you're a sole proprietor, you can still get a business credit card. The only thing is you have to make sure that you put only business expenses on the card. Same thing for freelancers. If you're a freelancer, let's say right now you have a gig on Fiverr or Upwork or TopTal or whatever, or you're driving for Uber, or you're driving for GitHub, whatever it is that you're doing, you can still get a business credit card. But please make sure you're charging only business expenses on the card. That way, when it comes time for your taxes, you can file your return with no problem. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. One thing I need to say is that when we talk about business credit cards, it's important to understand that business credit is different than personal credit. So when you apply for a business credit card, the bank or credit union or the whatever lender, he or she is going to check both credit scores that you have, your business credit score if you have one, and your personal credit score. So this is kind of important, because that means that if you have bad personal credit, but good business credit, you still have a risk of being denied. Same thing if the things are the other way around. In other words, you have great personal credit, but you have bad business credit, you still have a chance of being denied. So what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that you need to simultaneously take care of your business credit and your business credit score and your personal credit score. So your personal FICO score must be as high as possible, and your business credit score must actually have a similar trajectory. So when we talk about your paydebt score, for instance, you should try to really push it as close to 100 as possible. And for your FICO score, you must actually push it as far as close to 800, anything above 800 as possible. And so it's important to really establish that business credit is actually being maintained by Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business Credit, and Equifax Small Business. Those are the top 3 business credit agencies. And your personal credit is maintained by TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And so another thing I want to say here is that a business doesn't have to be registered or incorporated. So sole proprietors, freelancers, and partnerships can all qualify for a business credit card. The business doesn't have to be incorporated or registered in order to benefit from business credit. Having an employer identification number is also not required, although it may be helpful when applying for a higher end business card, or when, like, if you're applying for a loan or a line of credit. Sometimes some business lenders want you to have an EIN. So that's why, even though it's not mandatory, it's really helpful to have it. Independent, unincorporated or unregistered business owners should be aware that they are personally liable for any and all debt related to their business credit cards. In other words, you have tacitly a personal guarantee. You're giving a personal guarantee to the business card issuer. Well, so I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about a guide to business credit cards. I'm explaining everything you need to understand about business credit cards. Another thing you need to know here is that business cards don't have the same liability protections as personal credit cards. So if you're looking to get business credit cards, you do not have the same liability protection. The thing is that there was a piece of legislation. It's called the Card Act of 2009. This legislation gave personal credit card holders beneficial protections like zero liability in case of fraud, a 21-day grace period to pay back purchases, and required notice of increasing interest rates. Business cards, however, are technically exempt from these protections. Some business cards follow these guidelines anyway, but it's important to always understand a card's terms and conditions before applying. So I'm talking here about the fine prints. So I know a lot of folks don't read those fine prints, but it really would help to really read them, especially when we're talking about business credit cards. So in addition to cardholder protections, there are two types of debt liability that apply to business cards. So you have a commercial liability and joint and several liability. Okay. So first type of debt liability, commercial liability. Second type, joint and several liability. So large businesses and corporations with corporate cards can usually enjoy commercial liability, which means what? That the business itself, not the cardholder, is liable for debt should a creditor come knocking. Small business owners and independent proprietors may have joint and several liability on their card, meaning what? Meaning both the business and the cardholder are liable for debts. So the cardholder could take a hit on his or her personal credit score and even have debt sent to a collection agency. So paying the bill on time every month will help the cardholder avoid being personally responsible for business expenses and interest, of course. One thing I need to also say that when we talk about business credit cards, they have rewards too. So it's not just the risk, you also have the rewards. So there are rewards and some tailored to business expenses. So like personal credit cards, some business cards offer rewards to cardholders. So you have, for instance, you have cashback, you have travel rewards and welcome bonuses, to name a few examples. And some business cards may even offer short-term financing for large purchases, which is really helpful when you think about it for a new business trying to get off the ground. So this is kind of cool. So one thing I need to say here is that when trying to decide on which business card is the right one for you, you want to take a look at what types of rewards are being offered, right? Low introductory APR periods can be helpful for building good business credit without racking up interest on large purchases. Rewards points or cashback can be redeemed for business travel, office supplies, or gift cards for employees. And purchase protections like extended warranties and return protection are useful for buying new equipment and furniture. So this is kind of cool. Another thing I want to say here is that remember that business card applications require more information than personal card applications. Why? Because the credit limits are usually larger. So it's not unusual to have like 25 grand or 50 grand on a business credit card when you actually get approved for a business credit card. So when you're applying for a business credit card, you need to really understand that you might have to provide personal information like name, date of birth, social security number, and address. And in addition to information about the business itself, like the name of the business, the industry, the EIN, if applicable, and revenue. In some cases, the business card issuer might ask you to provide a business plan to sort of contextualize the financial information of your business. And so a business card issuer will actually will take a look at all of the necessary information provided in the application, plus the applicant's personal and business credit history to decide whether the business and its owner will be a reliable borrower. So having good to excellent personal credit is actually recommended in order to qualify for the best business cards with the best rewards. Okay. And one thing I need to really say here is that before applying to any business card, you want to always read the terms and qualifying conditions first. Applying to too many cards in a short period of time can reduce the applicant's credit score, making it harder to qualify for a different card or other type of loan or line of credit. Okay. And one thing I want to say also is that business cards usually have higher credit limits than personal cards. This is something that really makes sense. As I just said, it's kind of, it's not unusual to get 50K on a business credit card, although getting 50K on a personal credit card is kind of rare unless you have a large net worth, or you have good credit. Okay. Because see, the whole thing is businesses have larger monthly expenses and larger income levels than regular consumers do, right? So business cards tend to have higher credit limits, sometimes in the ballpark of an extra zero. The issuer will decide what a card's credit limit will be after analyzing a business owner's application and credit history. And small business owners tend to have higher credit than average consumers, which may also contribute to the higher credit limits. The trend that we have probably seen among small businesses. And business card holders can request higher credit limits at any time by contacting a card issuer. So if you are listening to me right now and you want to have a higher credit limit, it's a good time to contact your card issuer. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about business credit cards. This is the ultimate beginner's guide to business credit cards. The thing is, when you have employees, you need to understand that those employees can have their own credit cards. So most business credit card issuers allow cardholders to order credit cards for employees. Issuers may provide a few employee cards for free, while others may charge a fee per card. So many cards allow the primary cardholder to oversee employee spending by setting spending limits, alerts for card activity, and even card limits. Keep in mind that employee business cards may have joint and several liability, which means that the employee and business owner may be equally responsible for the card's debt. Okay. And also, one thing you need to also remember here is that business cards may have different payment terms than personal cards. The thing is that card issuers recognize that businesses don't always have cash on hand to pay for large purchases. So some cards offer extended payment options that allow the cardholder to finance large purchases with special terms. And cardholders may be able to pay off the purchase over a longer period of time without accruing interest or without accruing the card's full interest. Okay. And payment terms actually, of course, vary depending on the issuer and card. And the business cardholder should actually always call. If you listen to me right now, you're a business cardholder, you can always reach out to your card issuer to discuss payment options. So the bottom line here is that if you own a business credit card, remember that it has similarities to owning a personal credit card, but key differences exist that every business owner should really understand. So those cards are useful for building business credit, of course, earning rewards, and keeping overhead low by making large purchases with special financing. And what I want to say here is that, just make sure that you do not double up on perks between a business credit card and personal card, because you want to choose cards wisely that will give you a variety of rewards and perks that are beneficial to your business. Okay. And just like with any personal card, do not overspend on a business credit card. This is not your money. Whatever you charge on the card, you're going to have to actually pay back, right? So when you keep that in mind, you will be more strategic as to the cards you're getting in the first place. So this is kind of important. This is the kind of strategy you need to really have with all kinds of business credit card decisions. A winner here. How do you choose the right business credit card? So the thing here is that choosing a business credit card is really it's a matter of preference, but also it really has to do with the rewards, the benefits, the card's ability to help you manage your cash flow, travel related perks that you want. Okay, what kind of like does the business credit card issuer report your data to business credit bureaus? Because the thing is, when you get a business credit card, you are basically trying to build business credit. Okay, if you just get a business credit card and you don't see any benefits out of it, then it's not really worth it. The thing here is that the ability to manage your business's cash flow is really important, because you want to have a card that gives you at least 20 to 30 days to pay business expenses without interest. And if you are in a field where you really love traveling, or your employees are always on the road, so you also want to go for a business credit card that has travel related perks such as travel credits, travel insurance, free hotel stays, and elite member status with certain hotels and airlines. One thing I need to say here is that you always want to start with a business credit card from the bank or credit union that you currently have. In other words, you want to start at the bank or credit union where you already have a checking account, a personal checking account. That way you already have a relationship and you can parlay that relationship into a better business card. Because see, the whole thing is if you want a business credit card, you do want to have a high credit limit. It's not really worth it for you to apply for a business credit card and be approved for, say, 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 credit limits. You really want to have something consequential so you can actually you can expand your business. You can take care of regular expenses. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff with what a normal credit card or business credit card can help you do. Okay. And also I want to insist once again on the fact that you want to have a business credit card that actually that reports your data, because you can only build business credit if your data is being reported to the credit bureaus. Okay, so you want Dun & Bradstreet, you want Equifax Business, and you want Experience Small Business to really be aware of your weekly or of your monthly purchases. This is so important. Let me give you a bonus here. So basically, the big question is, if you're a business owner, why should you get a business credit card in the first place? Why shouldn't you just use your personal credit card? Because it could be convenient, right, to really get a business credit card. It can be convenient to just use your personal credit card. The thing is that a business credit card actually has several perks, several advantages. First of all, you want to build business credit because when you have a business, you want to build business credit because you might need at some point to get a net 30 account, or 1 or 2 or 3 or several net 30 accounts. You might actually need to get a loan. You might need to get a business line of credit. You might need to get business equipment financing. So you might need to have all kinds of business funding arrangements. And a lot of vendors, a lot of lenders will pay attention to your personal credit, but also to your business credit. So the higher your business credit score, in other words, the higher it is above 80, the better it is for you. So all kinds of stakeholders will actually pay attention to your business credit. A lot of people will check your Dun & Bradstreet profile to see what's really happening there. So that's the first thing you want to have. The second thing is, it's just better to separate your business expenses from your personal expenses because, first of all, it's great. It's a great accounting practice. It's also great for taxes. Come tax time, when you are running off stuff on your tax return, the IRS will really understand, okay, those expenses are labeled business, and that's true. It makes sense to actually label them that way because you have segregated your personal credit from your business credit, your personal affairs from your business affairs. So this is kind of similar to having a personal checking account versus a business bank account. So you want to separate things. And another reason why you might want to have a personal credit card, a business credit card instead of using your personal credit card, is that you really want to you want to access a larger limit. As I said before, it's harder to get a 50K or a 75K or a 100K credit limit on a personal credit card unless you have the net worth to justify it, or unless you have an excellent credit history. But it is relatively, and I want to insist here, I'm choosing my words wisely here. It is relatively possible to get $100,000 credit limit on a business credit card. Okay, and so those are reasons why a lot of business owners love to have a business, get a business credit card. So there are things you should look for in a business credit card. Look for the value in terms of the annual fee. How large is the sign-up bonus? What are the rewards for your business expenses? Okay, and what are the benefits and perks? Those are things you need to really look for. And how is the card provider's customer support? Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate today's conversation. I was just explaining to you a guide. I was just giving you a guide to business credit cards. I'll give you the overview. I gave you the winner. I gave you the bonus, and I also help you understand how to choose the right business credit card for you. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.